stuff. So my name is Brian Kennedy, I'm Regional Director with John SISK, and I'm joined with my colleague here, James Moloney. So we're going to try and fit a large project into 20 minutes, give you an overview. So if you can flick on one slide first, and we'll just show you what we're going to go through today. We have yep. Green button, perfect, thank you. So we're going to first try and give an overview. Some of you know Centre Parcs well, some may not. So we're going to give you an overview of the project first, the lodges, the village centre. Then we're going to talk about the challenge and what it meant to us, what we had to deliver, and then how we used innovative procedures to deliver this on time and on budget. And we're going to conclude with a short video. So first of all, it's 400 acres of woodland, very unique project, once in a lifetime type project for Ireland. There's 5 of these in the UK. There's one and one only in Ireland because of the capacity. They're based on about a 5 million radius of people. So it's 400 acres. You can see the outline of it there. They acquired a woodland and they wanted to build the first Centre Parcs here in Ireland. So the infrastructure was done by another contractor, and we won 2 projects, which was the lodges, 466 lodges, and a village centre project. So it was the first time Centre Parcs gave the 2 projects to one contractor. So that was a lot of our focus, and we'll show you later on in how we use digital innovation to show ourselves first of all, and then the client, how we were able to deliver the project. So first of all, the lodges project. As I said, there was 466 lodges, and lodges probably doesn't do them justice. Like, they're high-end units, A2 rated units, high spec, nice and spacious. There's a variety of different levels that you can go to, right from 2-bed woodlands right up to exclusives. And here on the right hand side shows some of the interior shots. So then in terms of numbers, what was this part of the project entailed? So there was 466 of them, huge amount of materials to be delivered, huge amount of coordination in a woodland. You say 400 acres, you think that there's a lot of space, but there was actually very little space inside because the wood was just pockets taken out for the building. So there was 300 kilometres of timber cladding, that's from here to London. There was 4.2 kilometres of lodges. So if you were driving along in terrace housing, you'd be driving for 4.2 kilometres of housing. And this all had to be delivered in 68 weeks. So there's 4,600 doors, 3,200 windows. So massive amount of logistics and coordination needed. Rate of production was 3 lodges per day, so that meant that each trade had to meet a very simple KPI of 3 of everything. So for example, 3 timber frames had to go up, 3 lodges had to be roofed a day, 3 lodges had to have the mechanical and electrical fitted out a day. So there was rapid production right through the job, and it was like a cycle, and if that got knocked off, the project was going to be in serious trouble. So again, the digital side of it, the innovation, the informed decision making to allow us meet them targets. So these are just a couple of shots of the types of lodges. There were single story, there were the duplex exclusives, lovely 4-bed spa pods out the back. Again, more duplexes and some interior shots. So I'm just going to hand you over to James now, and James will take through the other part of the project that we.
Thanks, Brian. I suppose in tandem with the lodges project that the lads were delivering, the other project we had was a village centre project, and the village centre was 9 commercial buildings around the man-made lake that Robridge had built in the middle there. So just flick on here. I suppose again, our site was much more condensed than the site that the lads had on the lodges. Like, the lads were looking at maybe 200 acres of construction work right through the forest. We had about 30 acres concentrated around the lake, and 9 separate commercial buildings. 2 at the top of the lake, the Woodland Activity Building and the Pancake House, an apartment block and an Aqua Sauna, which is 2,500 square metres of a health spa at the south of the lake, cycle centre for 2,500 bikes, and then we had a village centre itself on the left of the lake, which was the east wing was 2 acres, and then the west wing was 1.5 acres, and behind the west wing was the subtropical swimming paradise. So this is just a view of the subtropical swimming paradise. Wave pool, there's a number of children's pools, there's aqua slides, there's a rapid river, which is about 3,000 cubic metres of water an hour running down it. All the services for that building are all in the basement, and when Brian talks about some of the I suppose the digital innovation that we used, he's going to come back to this particular building and show you some of the innovations. This is just a view taken of the subtropical swimming paradise in September 18 after we put the glulam and the cross-laminated timber on it over the substructure. These are a couple of views here taken a couple of months ago after we'd handed the building over. Again, this is just to give us the scale of the project, and then Brian will bring some of the more detail to it on the digital innovation. This is an internal view of the wave pool, glulam above. Each of those glulam beams is about 50 metres long and 2 metres high. This is as you walk into the village centre, with the east block on your left and the west block on your right hand side, and a couple of views looking back down from one of the cycle parks. And this is the Aqua Sauna building here on the south side of the lake. And again, a couple of shots of the Aqua Sauna. So again, there's a lot of emphasis on high-end finishes inside the buildings, pools, whirlpools, spas, you name it. This is just one of the views of the internal finishes in the east block of the village centre itself. 8-lane bowling alley, sports hall, sports cafe, cycle centre. So I suppose, again, just coming back to what Brian said at the start of the presentation, our challenge was to build basically a new town in 400 acres of woodland in the middle of Longford in less than 76 weeks. And as Brian said, the houses took 68, the village centre took slightly longer. And it wasn't that, we'd a blank checkbook and we got to go and build this, and we could build it any way we wanted for any amount of money and, finish it in any level of quality. We felt like at Centre Parcs had very strict criteria as regards time, budget, quality, safety. So, the challenge was to get the work done, get the project delivered, but get it done and to meet the client's success criteria. So I suppose these are some of the innovations that we brought to that, because given the tight time scale we had and the budget that we hadn't got time to do things 3 or 4 or 5 times. They had to be done right the first time, and there was a huge amount of coordination needed. So I'll just hand over to Brian.
Okay, thanks, James. So that gives you a feel for what the challenge we had. So what we looked at the start of the job, as I said, it was 2 projects. We had to first show ourselves that we could deliver 2 projects in 76 weeks, and then we had to demonstrate to the client that we could do it, and then also we had to deliver it. So there was a couple of stages, but it was a design and build project, so we had to make the client's concept design work in Ireland from a building regulation point of view. So we had to design, we had to procure, and we had to construct. And we used these were kind of 10 summary items that we used from a digital and innovation point of view, off-site construction being the first one. So what do we do from an off-site construction point of view? Again, this obviously has to start at design stage and right through to construction. So some of the 3 key things, and there was a lot smaller elements, but these are the 3 key things that we done. The subtropical swimming paradise, as James said, was a glulam structure, a large timber structure, but it had a lot of structural steel in the roof. So that was going to slow down the install, slow down the procurement and the off-site production. So we looked at innovative solutions, cross-laminate timber, coordinated with the glulam beams, fully modelled up to be coordinated with all the services within the building. And we delivered that, reduced 400 tonne of steel, gave a saving to the client, reduced time. We've done similar with the 466 lodges. They were all manufactured off-site in a warehouse in Derry. They were delivered to site in panels and trusses and erected, and BIM allowed us to do that, so we were able to coordinate each of them prior to install on site. And once they came to site, it had to be like Lego blocks right through. So, and then the final part was the 30 apartments, so it was a lightweight structural steel panel. Interestingly enough, since Centre Parcs, we've actually acquired a company that now manufactures these off-site, Vision Built here in Galway. So it's a great new part of our business. And we delivered them 30 apartments using that system. The second part is obviously digital project delivery. So again, people will be familiar with how SISK deliver in terms of our digital side of things. So we have information management, we've built information modelling, and we've innovative technology. So they're kind of the 3 strands that we utilise to manage and coordinate our construction on site. The common data environment, the field capture tools that we use, and there's a small video showing how our team at the end actually use these on site. So it's quite interesting just to get the commentary back from the guys using it out in the field. Virtual reality, drone operation, all allowed us, 5D construction sequencing, all allowed us to manufacture off-site, deliver on time, and coordinate all that activities. James mentioned the Glulam Beams, so these were manufactured in Austria, delivered up to Ballymahon, so a big logistics operation, but the key thing is the size, the coordination, that it's all going to fit on site. So they were all fitted on top of this large substructure, 3-level basement, really well engineered and worked out well. And up in the top right is a final photo. Again, FT Leisure was the pool filtration system. There was 6 systems. One of them produces 3,000 metres cubed of water per hour in a rapid river. And again, the coordination of this with the substructure was critical, so BIM helped us all here. The final one is the flumes and the slides. So you'll see here in the photo on the right how that was all coordinated, built, modelled in 3D, coordinated using BIM and then delivered to site. And the final one for the main centre village is the ETFE roof light. So again, a key coordination part of the project. So the next step then is like, how do we make ourselves lean and how do we make ourselves so efficient when we're getting such repetition of lodges? And standardization is one thing. So you look at simple details, you look at simplifying them, making sure that everyone knows what's required in terms of quality, and then you just repeat. And that was a key part of the build as well. The 4D construction sequence, there's a SISK stand out here this morning, and it shows a lot of how we utilise 4D for various projects, and it's really all of our projects going forward we use 4D. But at tender stage particularly, it identified how we were going to logistically build 466 lodges through 400 acres. And I would say at the start of the tender period, we actually got it wrong. We got the logistics wrong, but we were able to sort that out through 4D construction sequencing at tender stage, and we were able to demonstrate to the client actually our steps in getting to the right solution. And that just shows you plan versus actual, very simply colour-coded, but it just showed how you move through the woodland with different activity and where you needed to be at any one time. Centre buildings then, we're always able to capture it with the drone footage and compare that back to the 4D construction sequence at any one time, so it gave us a feel for if we're ahead, behind, and what we needed to focus on. Trade handover interface, this was part of lean construction again, and just having very simple, clear, concise handovers between trades, keeping the site clean and making sure that quality control, safety was always top of the list. Just-in-time delivery in Ireland, look, it doesn't always work. You're bringing stuff across on boats, you're bringing stuff from various parts of Europe, parts of the world. So what we looked at was off-site warehousing around Ballymahon, and we rented accommodation to store some material. Some come in then right to the final location, and some were stored in this. So variety of techniques. Kitting was very interesting because again, repetition. We were able to kit like IKEA style, kit all the pieces of the lodges and then repeat that, so the guys knew at any point in time where they were in terms of materials, quantities and specification. Again, very simple KPIs. So rather than bar charts for the lodges, we actually brought it right back to tabular information like this, and you could see very quickly where your problems were in green, blue and red to identify any lags or any issues on program. The 9th one is work sampling. So again, this is a lean principle that we used. So it was identifying, watching trades as they were building to understand where the problems were as they built. And this included a couple of weeks where we just had guys actually monitoring the works and reporting, calculating the wasted time, calculating the value add, and then trying to get them problems out of the way. That just shows we'd a problem with the roofing at the start, and we were using 57 man hours, our person hours, and we had to reduce that to come back in on budget, and we got it back by work sampling, by getting rid of some awkward details and just making sure the logistics was right. The final one, which is a very interesting one, is the real-time progress tracking. So it's just an app we use and we sync it up to our program, so all the people in the field can monitor progress and put it into the app. It syncs automatically back to our master program, and again we were able to know in real time where the issues were. So there's a bit of volume there on that. Apologies for the acting, but we're going to show delivery. We've used 4 key and particular tools, which have been 4D construction sequencing, building information modelling, Asta Progress mobile app and Field View.
Field View is used as part of our quality sign-offs, environmental and safety auditing. The software works via an application that can be used on a tablet or on Android phone. So it enables us to do all our quality sign-offs out in the field without the need for paperwork and returning to the office. From my experience on other projects, I can see a massive reduction in time spent using the paper format. Its ability to raise tasks and its ease of raising tasks with multiple contractors should have added benefits on a traditional building site.
Tracking live progress on site is critical to us here at Centre Parcs. We utilise Asta mobile app to digitally capture this information in the field and bring it back to us here in the offices.
Asta is a planning software that allows us prepare Gantt charts to graphically illustrate the time it will take to construct the project. The key benefits initially are it removes a lot of the data entry that I may have performed when updating the program. It removes a lot of paperwork from the project manager on site. In terms of time we've saved on site by using this app, I can now spend that time planning on the project rather than that data entry. So for me, it's been a huge benefit.
Building information modelling is a critical part, and in particular 4D construction sequencing. We utilise Viewpoint as our common data environment, and we use Synchro for our 4D construction sequence. This allows us to monitor and plan the works effectively.
Viewpoint is a web-based platform, and we use it for the collation, distribution and management of all of our project and technical documentation. The key benefit here is that our large number of designers can all feed our information through one platform to allow collaboration between the various stakeholders. Viewpoint is one of the key digital delivery tools. It has been out there for a number of years, but using it in combination with the other tools, it's added to the overall success of the project.
4D modelling has been used on site in terms of the planning, the logistics, the supervision, day-to-day deliveries, scheduling of deliveries, and the call-offs from our suppliers. Initially myself at the start of this project, I would have been slightly apprehensive. It was something that was relatively new to me. I mean, we're in a particularly unique environment here, and we needed to look at how we could maximise our resources and try to be lean across the site. And in terms of the 4D, the benefits that it's brought to the table, it's allowed us maximise those activities on site and our outputs.
Okay, so let's just give a feel for what we were talking about there and how the guys utilised it. Just to recap, like the challenge we had, as James said, was 76 weeks to deliver a huge project for Centre Parcs. It had been done before, previously in the UK, not in the time frame. All their projects previously went over time slightly, and this one was to bring it in on time, bring it in on budget, and that's one thing that we're very proud that we can say we've done. And one of the things we can definitely say is that it would not have been delivered without the innovation that we had to look out and grab, and our team had to grab and utilise. Some of the key stats was our persons hours worked was over 2.5 million, with 0 reportable accidents. We started on site in January 18, and we finished 68 weeks later on the lodges, and 76 weeks on the village centre, all on time and on budget. And they opened their operations earlier than planned because we were able to give them early access. The rate of production, again, 0 snags, peaked at 15 a week, so that was 15 lodges we had to, in a cycle per week, and it was managing the outputs in terms of snags and the recording of that and closing them out in time to keep that cycle going. So thanks very much for your time, and we'll have any questions. Thank you.